As some of you may know, I uploaded this short about how you might not know that you're breaking one of the biggest rules in a park's set of policies. Eventually, it started to consistently gain views and ended up being the most popular video on my channel. Now, comments are rolling in explaining their own opinions and experiences on this topic. What I realize now is that my 60-second short was evidently not able to cover everything I needed to fully support my stance, since I still had a lot of work to do with the comment, as they brought up a lot of stuff that I could not mention in that amount of time. So I thought it was best to create a full-length video so I can mention all of my points and settle this for the most part once and for all. Also, to those of you who left those comments, I really appreciate it since it will help me make this video. So let's digest the line jumping issue in theme parks. Let me introduce the topic with a definition of what line jumping is in my eyes. It happens when you cut ahead of people to wait in a position in line that you do not occupy. That was put into short term, so let's dig deeper into what this means. You can only claim your spot in line by joining at the start, and as long as you do not leave the line, you have that spot in line as it moves. If you are in a group that has that spot and someone leaves the line or enters at a different time than the other group members, they do not have the right to that spot. If you leave your spot and attempt to re-enter the queue at that spot that you left, you do not have that spot anymore. It's strictly prohibited, as well as any other form of line jumping. There is an exception to this, which I'll explain later in the video, so stay tuned. Now that we hopefully have a clear understanding of what line jumping is, let's talk about the issue involving it. There are two main factors that play into this: the guests and the staff. The guests do not have the full understanding of the rules, and the staff often do not prevent it when it's happening. In the minds of who's typically the general public, they believe that line jumping does not include placeholding, though they are wrong. For example, when a group enters a line and one decides to forfeit their spot, they decide to reconnect with their party by cutting through the line. Since the group is occupying the spot, the guests think it is okay for them to cut through, since they have already been waiting in that line, or at least their party was. Therefore, it became a social norm for people in line to allow line jumpers through without question. Where the staff come in is, well, they don't. I'm absolutely not trying to say anything bad about theme park staff. All I'm doing is simply pointing out something that contributes to the issue. Staff do not handle violators. This is a big rule to break, and I'm not going to make any assumptions on why they often don't intervene, since there are many different reasons that I'm thinking of, but some may not be true. So what's the big deal anyways? Why is this an issue? For starters, if I haven't made it clear enough already, this is one of the biggest rules laid down in the book. Many parks will kick you off the property with no refund if you are caught. Still care to break it? Think of the people around you. If you're in a group and forfeit the right to the queue position but plan on returning to the spot you lost, you have an unfair advantage. Instead of sticking around in the queue like you're supposed to, you get to leave and do something else instead to fill in that time gap. Meanwhile, others are standing in line while you have fun. It just seems like a selfish gesture. Even if no one cares if you do it, just don't. People like me who actually understand that abide by park policy and stand in line are getting more frustrated as it keeps on happening. It doesn't have to be this way, however. There are plenty more solutions to this than you think, and I'll try to give you all the ones that you'll need. Of course, there's always the option of sucking it up and just waiting until you get off the ride to do what you need to do. If that won't work for you, I still have more coming your way. A great strategy is to plan ahead, so before you grab your spot in line, make sure to do everything you need so that you don't have to do it later in the middle of a queue. So get some food and or drink, do all the other rides that you want to do, and use the bathroom. It's also possible to decide to go in when the line is a tolerable wait for your likings. Different attractions have different wait times at different times due to multiple factors with the ride itself, its location, and much more. Most parks allow you to monitor ride wait times via an app, so make sure to check if the park that you're at has one. They may also post a wait time physically in the park. Also, if you have the money and the will to spend it on this, many amusement parks offer a different shorter queue line on select rides for people who pay for it, reducing the wait time for the attractions that offer it. You may also be able to get a pass for a disability that someone in your party might have, which this will work different at every park. Cedar Point, for example, has a priority boarding system for these guests. that allow riders to jump right on the ride and then virtually wait afterwards, whatever the ride's posted wait time is. Let's say you didn't plan ahead and it can't wait much longer. Remember when I said there was one exception to re-entering a forfeited spot? That is when it is authorized with a park staff member. If you entered the line and have your spot and somewhere in line there is a situation where you may have to leave, it's best to talk to a staff member, as they may be able to negotiate your need to leave the line, which you may be allowed to re-enter at a point beyond the start. Of course, if it is an absolute emergency, just leave the line and things can be sorted out later if necessary. With all being said, what exactly is the point of this video in terms of my intentions? In the short that I made, at the end, many people picked up on how I asked viewers to physically stop line cutters. Well, maybe it's best to not intervene in that matter. For example, if a group ahead is expecting another person in their party to reconnect, stopping them is just going to create an entire new problem. If you have the chance, give them the advice for future reference, and all we can do is hope they do better next time. But it's worth a shot. But that's only a suggestion. Maybe in some cases, it's better to just not question them and allow them to proceed. If you do decide to stop them, they'll probably just continue to find their group anyways, and it's not worth risking ruining your or their day. If it's not to have everyone work together to make a change, why does this video exist? This is just simply a PSA about the line jumping problem. To my line jumpers out there, I hope that you learned something and maybe you can reconsider your future actions. I don't know how far this video itself is going to go, but my voice will never be heard at all if I never speak, so it's worth a shot anyways. Anyways, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully I was able to educate some people on things that they may not have known. Remember, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone in any form or make anyone feel bad about themselves. We all make mistakes, and I'm here to help others learn from them when possible. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more roller coaster related content, and I will see you all in the next video.